All right, so welcome back. We're moving to the next one in the slides here. So it says, but that means that 102 records are incorrect. So let's look at those. You can do it by adding one character in the last query. So adding one character in the last query. So the hint is that for us to be able to arrive at the results we are looking for, we just need to do a little change in the last query that we wrote. So let's go and analyze and see what we needed to do. So this is the query that we wrote, and to be able to arrive at the results that we had, we set certain conditions. So remember, we said the true water score source, or source score, that is from the auditor report, and that of the subjective quality score, that is from the water quality table, should be equal. And there's also the visit count that is supposed to be equal to 1. So I introduce the exclamation sign, which you know what it means, that is not equal. So you can use this sign or the two greater than or less than signs, which brings it back to give us a negative. So we are saying that the two scores shouldn't be equal. Let's see if by changing that small or comparison we will get what we are looking for. So let's run this. Like I'm saying, this is the same query we ran previously. The only thing we have changed here, it used to be equal to, and now we have added the exclamation to read not equal to. So let's run this and see. Wow, okay, so you can see here that it is returning how many rows? 102 rows returned. So perfect, our query just worked. So let's go back and then see what instruction more we have. So here we have our 102 records. Yes, the table stays much the same, but then these values are fetched for us. You can see here is the same thing we have on this side too, very much the same. Okay, now let's look at the next instruction. So to do this, it says since we use some of this data in our previous analysis, we need to make sure those results are still valid. Now we know some of them are incorrect. We didn't use the scores that much, but we relied a lot on the type of water source. So let's check if there are any errors there. So to do this, we need to grab the type of water source column from the water source table and call it survey source, using the source ID column to join. So the same queries that we have, we are going to now join the water source table using the source ID column. Also select the type of water source from the auditor report table and call it auditor source. So with that done, we should be able to have a table like this. Let's go into our workbench and see if we can do just that. Okay, so here, remember we have this location ID already, and then we also had record ID. We have true water source as auditor score, and then subjective quality score as surveyor score, which is the table we have here. Now we are adding two more, or one rather, which is this. No, sorry, two. We are having the water source. So I made it W_S, type of water source, as survey source. Remember, the water source table is part of the survey report. And then we have type of water source, which comes with the auditor report, and we are calling it auditor source. So that is the only thing we change here, and then everything else stays the same from the previous query. So let's run this and see. Okay, so you can see here source ID, surveyor source, auditor source. You can see the run through, and then we have record ID, auditor score, surveyor's score, and it is still running 102 rows. So it means that we are on the right path. So it says, so what I can see is that the types of sources look the same. So even though the scores are wrong, the integrity of the type of water source data we analyze, the integrity of the type of water source data we analyzed last time is not affected. Once you are done, remove the columns and join statement for water source again. So we are removing the join statement we did, so that we go back to the table that we had. So let's see if we have done that step by step. So once you are done, remove the columns and join statement. So we have removed the two columns, which is the surveyor score, auditor score. We have removed them. They used to be part of the select field, and everything else stays the same. We run our query again, and then this is what we come back to, returning 102 rows. Let's go back. So we are now on the linking records to employees. We want to find which of the employees were making these mistakes. So next up, let's look at where these errors may have come from. At some of the locations, employees assigned scores incorrectly, and those records ended up in this results set. So I think there are two reasons this can happen. These workers are all humans and make mistakes, so this is expected. Two, unfortunately, the alternative is that someone assigned scores incorrectly on purpose. Now, looking at both situations that we are looking at, or reasons we are giving, they say in either case, the employees are the source of the errors. So in each of the situations that we have underlined above, there is the element of employees. So let's join the assigned employee ID for all the people on our list from the visit table to our query. Remember, our query shows the 102 incorrect records. So when we join the employee data, we can see which employees made these mistakes. So let's go and join the employee table, referring specifically to the assigned employee ID. So we should have a table like this. Let's go and see how we do that. So under the linking records to employees, let's go and do that. So already we have the location ID, record ID. Then we come to the visit table, take the assigned employee ID. You can see that from the last table we had, our visit table was not there, but we are bringing it back. So we have to connect it with, the visit table was there through the record ID. We are now adding the assigned employee ID so that we see the ID of the employee that might have committed this mistake. So this is the only thing you add to the your query, because the visit table is already joined, so you don't need to join it again. You only need to refer to the particular column you want to add, and then when we run this query, we should be able to have a similar table as in the slide. So here we are: location ID, record ID, assigned employee ID, auditor score, surveyor score. So here we have them. We're still returning 102. Very important for us to check this. So let's go back to the slides. So now we can link the incorrect records to the employees who recorded them. The IDs don't help us to identify them. We have employee names stored along with their IDs. So let's fetch their names from the employees table instead of the IDs. So we are replacing the IDs with their names. So let's go and see if we can do that. So we have the names of those that might have committed these mistakes. So the same query, we just do a little edit. So we have the same columns here, and then instead of having the employee ID, now we replace it with what? The name. Okay, we replace it with the name. Now here, previously, we are looking at the employee ID from the visit table. You can see here from the visit table, but if we want the name is not in the visit table. The name is actually in the employee table. So this time we have to join the employee table so that we can select or get access to the name. Now in doing so, the visit table and the employee table also have something in common. They have a key in common which you can use to join them. So look at what I did here. First and foremost, I have E, which is representing the employee table, and then I want employee name column returned as part of my results. And then I come to the query down here. I'm now adding all this part is already there, but I'm adding this little bit. So join employee as E, and then on E, assigned employee ID is equal to what? Visit assigned employee ID. So the key in each of them is what you are using to connect or to join these two tables. All other conditions stays same. And when we run this, let's see what we have. Okay, so we have the names here. We have the names of the employees that might have committed these blunders here. Now let's go and see what's up next. You have the name here. So let's go down. Normally when you run your query, you have to check the table that is given here and compare it to yours so that you know you are on the right track. Okay, so next up, say, well, this query is massive and complex, so maybe it is good idea to save this as a CTE. You remember what the CTE is? Yes, from running through our, if you like, studies in the models, we came across the CTE, which is a query you try to keep this as something you can always refer to. So when we do more analysis, we can just call that CTE like it was a table. So this is actually not a table, but you give it a name that you can refer to in your records, and every time you want to use it, you have to lift the whole expression and bring it down before you can be able to do it. If you don't bring it down, because it is not a table, you cannot use only the name, but the whole expression or the query that gives rise to that particular CTE, you have to refer to it. I will show you that when we get to the workbench. Once you are done, check if this query select all from incorrect records get the same table back. So whatever, when you save or try to rename that particular query a CTE or give it a name, you run this select all from that particular CTE name, in this case incorrect records, to see if it returns the particular results that you have. So let's quickly do that before we get into it. So let's look here. So the whole query that we have above, we want to give it a name that is incorrect records, so that anytime we are looking for the incorrect records of 102 rows with their names, we can be able to refer to that particular set of query or code. So this is how we start. We say with incorrect record as, then you quote the whole query down. You can see everything we did previously is in the bracket. So this line is telling you we close it here, and then we have opened it somewhere at the top. From here you can see. So the only thing we added is with incorrect records. If you want to have a CTE, you have this expression with incorrect record as. That means that you are giving this whole query that is down here in this bracket, you are giving it the name incorrect records. So anytime you refer to it incorrect records, then you know what you are looking at. Now I have my select all query to find out whether it will give me the incorrect records as we have had previously here. So I run this query. Let me run this query. Beautiful. So it gives me, you see, we are querying it as though it is a table, but it is not. But when we query it, it just appears here. But if you go to your diagram, you will never see the incorrect records over there because it is not a table. Alright, so we'll come back in the next video and then we look at the next stuff we have to do. Thank you.